Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on Lumber Capital Log Yard. Today we are back to milling hemlock, but all very puny logs. What's up with this? Stay tuned to find out. Now, one thing that sets our business apart from other sawmills is that we like to try and utilize every part of the tree. And this is easier said than done for sure. And that's why, you just don't see it happening very often because of the expense of it. It costs, actually, it can be less cost effective to use more of the tree. But we are in a unique situation where we actually can, because we're not only the loggers, but we're also the millers, the sawyers, so which puts us in a cool situation where, because my dad can cut down the trees and then do all of his own hauling as well, we can bring back stuff to the mill that we just couldn't do if we were paying to be hauling. And so the mill might be a little loud here in the background, but this log is probably the biggest one of the pecker poles we have here on the deck, and we do have an order for some beams, 4x8s. So that's what I'm going to be milling out of this one. It is 10 foot. Yeah, it looks like a 10 foot here. So we need two 4x8 by 10s. And that's what I'm going to be getting out of this if I can get it 8x8s. It's all about trying to squeeze out what you can out of these small ones, but the boss will bring them back, and what he likes us to cut out of them is beams. So lots of 6x6s. If you can't get a 6x6, a 4x4, which is a really small beam to get out of a whole log. And that's why, mills just don't mess around with logs that small when all you can get out of it is a 4x4. But I think it's pretty cool because what's happening is most of the time you're only getting one or two logs out of a whole tree, because as it goes farther up, obviously it tapers and gets smaller and smaller. So the stuff that we are milling here today is what is called topwood, and it's coming from the pieces from the logs that are up higher, and that stuff is just usually left. Now, there can be benefits to leaving the tops in the woods. They're going to decompose. The deer love it, but in the end, while it's not completely going to waste, this way it truly isn't. It truly isn't. So I don't mind cutting small logs. He can bring me as many small logs as he wants and I'll cut them, just no 1x10s. And we like cutting 1x10s here, but let's focus on the milling for a second and I'll get back to you. Well, this next one here is on the punier side, and it's hard to just grab one of these things. Okay, there we go. This one, it's gonna have to be a 4x4. I don't think we can get a 6x6 out of this. And you see the problem with cutting these small logs is the mill just isn't really made for it. But, oh my gosh, we got that one. A lot of the times I just have to get out and manually move it, but we were able to knock that one in. So now this is more like a 7x7. Well, I mean, excuse me, 5x5. It's not quite a 4x4, more of a 5x5, but we'll get a flitch or two off of it. Now just see how tiny a 4x4 ends up being. Kind of seems like a silly thing to cut, but one thing about these smaller logs is they make really good beams, and that makes sense if you think about it because of how the heartwood is. Now I don't know how much of a difference it truly makes because I'm not a contractor, but we have contractors come in and some of them are very specific about where the heart is in the beam, and I think that this just makes for a very nice quality beam, just going based off of, you know, what I've heard some of the contractors saying. But let's cut it here. Now the slabs are a lot lighter for jade than some of the others. Nothing like Lumber Capital Log Yard coffee, am I right? Are you guys hooked on this stuff yet? Because I sure am. Our friend down there in Florida does such a good job. He is a coffee expert, that is for sure. Head on over to our merch shop at LumberCapital.shop. It's in the description down below, and you can find all kinds of stuff on there, whether it's hoodies, Carhartt jackets, pretty cool stuff. Check it out. But that's also where you'll find our coffee. And if you've already tried a bag, maybe order another one. Also, Christmas is coming up, and some of the stuff on there can make pretty cool gifts, so make sure to check that out. Other than that, I think that wraps it up for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe subscribe if you haven't. Other than that, we'll see you back here next time. Bye.